Hello and welcome to day 30 of the blog, April the 30th. My name is Brophy. Here's some background information and what I currently do. Continuing with our series of interviews around the world. Today we're going to look at Lebanon. We're going to look at the current situation and the help to business families. Lebanon has a lot of problems going back to last October. There are riots currently which started back in October. They stopped and have started again, especially due to the fact that the pound or the livre, the Lebanon currency, crashed recently, and this has led to an increase in food prices. So the virus appears to be under control, but the economy is suffering. In Europe, we say the economy is suffering. We don't really understand how bad suffering really can get. So prices are going up for basic foodstuffs. CNN has reported that 75% of people need aid. Questions. So we're going to do an interview, listen and remember. We're going to ask the name, occupation, where, what financial assistance companies have been promised, self-employed people, families, how is the government going to stop the protests, or will it stop the protests, and what two things she wants to do. Okay, good afternoon, and here we are speaking to somebody on a very nice balcony in Lebanon. I understand it's 26 degrees, very nice weather. So let's discuss what's happening in Lebanon. First of all, can you tell me your name and your occupation?
Hi, my name is Yanina and I'm a UN staff in one of the UN agencies in Beirut.
So in Beirut, in the capital of Lebanon, is that correct?
Yes, correct, in the capital.
Okay, let's talk about what the government is doing to help the economy. Specifically, let's start with companies. What is the government doing to help companies?
It's a little bit tricky question at this particular moment, because if we go back to pre-corona time history, then we will know that Lebanon, actually, the government announced default just maybe a couple of weeks before. And now the Lebanese lira rate is drastically down, so there is a very high devaluation of the national currencies. And I would say that the government has no possibilities to keep the companies up and to make certain help funding, investments, help, aid, whatever the name. And so it's really bad situation in terms of economy.
So I imagine also for self-employed people, is there any help at all?
There is a certain peculiar, if we talk about the economy of Lebanon in general, they import a lot, and there are a lot of small and medium enterprises in the country, family-run businesses or something similar. So they're really small and they really struggle. No, there is no help at all.
And so I imagine also for families, is there any practical help? For example, even basic food. Is there anything for families?
Yes, some families, some municipalities, they were providing food packages, food boxes to the most vulnerable families in their municipalities. There was some money paid by the government through the public schools, but it's also, as I said before, the situation is tricky, and with food and with health, it was also a little bit strange, I would say, from my perspective, because a lot of children, a lot of families send their kids to private schools. The education is considered better there, that the price is not that high. But those who may be in need, but their children go to the private schools, they are not helped. So only those who go to the government schools, they receive some amount of money, which was the equivalent of 400. It was 400 Lebanese lira, and it's a little bit less than $100.
Okay.
A little bit more than $100.
So difficult. We've seen some protests on the streets as well in Lebanon. Will the government be able to stop these protests?
The protest actually started in October 2019, and there were a lot of road blockages. So then the virus, it stopped the riots for a while because people had to stay in their houses. But the reasons of the recent protest is the devaluation of the national currency, as I mentioned, because it changed within 24 hours enormously. And the supermarkets, the small shops, and so on, they started changing the prices for the basic food immediately. And of course, as people do not work at the moment, as they do not get support and allowances from the government, it's very difficult even to have to provide for basic needs. And it raised the riots, it raised the protests.
Okay, and finishing on a slightly more personal note, what one or two things are you most looking forward to doing when you can go back out from your apartment again after lockdown?
Well, I personally want to go to the office because I was working from home for 2 months already, as the lockdown was announced as of 16th of March. And it would be number one. And second, maybe just to go to some nice restaurant, to sit outside, because as you mentioned at the very beginning, the weather is already very good. And you can hear the birds singing and the sun and so on, but you cannot really enjoy much. So.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Thanks a lot, and good luck with the future, and enjoy the rest of the day on the balcony. Thank you very much, Janina.
Stay safe as well.
Okay. Name is Janina, and she works for the UN. So she has a very good job working in the UN in Beirut. Unfortunately, the financial situation of the government is desperate. The government went into default and the currency collapsed, which means there's no money for companies, there's very little money for self-employed people, and there's almost nothing for families. Will the government be able to stop the protests? We don't really have an answer. We just hope that the government will be able to do something. What does she really look forward to doing? Well, getting out of the apartment. She's been in the apartment for over 2 months, and get back to the office, get back to work. Lebanon has a population of 6.9 million. Despite the terrible financial situation, the country did enter lockdown very early and has managed to keep deaths down to as low as 24. Okay. In Europe, one of the best performing countries is Denmark. Denmark has a smaller population of between 5 and 6 million and already has 443 deaths. So in Lebanon, the virus is under control. Here we can see a graph of daily new cases. We can see a peak a few weeks ago, and it's now declining. So we've looked at the situation today in Lebanon, including the recent riots on the street as a result of the problems of the economy collapsing. We've had an interview with Janina, and we've looked at the new cases and the situation of deaths in Lebanon, which is fortunately quite good.